worship this Thursday morning. Let's begin our worship by lighting our candle. Jesus is the light of the world. Shine, Jesus, shine. And although you can't see the flame on the candle this morning, hopefully you can see the glow to remind us that God's with us through the ceramic on the candle this morning. Now, when you were watching the start of the video this morning, there were some things that were displayed on the screen, some berries. And they're to remind us about what our worship is all about today, which is about choosing the truth. Sometimes we'll be faced with some really difficult decisions in our life, which means sometimes we tell the truth and sometimes we do things that maybe wouldn't please other people, including God. And I'm going to tell you a story, which I'm sure you can probably already guess what story it is, where some people chose not to make the honest decision and the truthful choice, and they decided that they wouldn't follow the rules that God had explained to them. So listen very carefully to the story.
"Welcome to my world," God said to Adam. "It's good, isn't it?" "Welcome to my garden," God said to Eve. "This is the most beautiful place of all, and I want it to be your home. Take care of the animals for me, take care of the plants, and eat whatever you like. There are plenty of trees to pick from." Adam and Eve didn't know what to say. They looked at the garden, they looked at each other, and then they smiled the world's first smile. Life was going to be perfect here, just perfect. "There's just one more thing," God said. "Do you see that tree over there? The one in the middle of the garden? Well, the fruit on that tree is not good for you. If you eat it, you will make me very unhappy, and you will have to leave this beautiful place." Adam and Eve looked at each other again. With so many trees to choose from, that hardly seemed to be a problem, and for a long time they were content with soft, juicy pears, sweet, thick-skinned oranges, and round, ripe melons. Then one day the serpent came to visit. "Tell me," the serpent said to Eve, "which trees are you allowed to eat from?" "Every tree," Eve smiled, "except the one in the middle of the garden." "Oh," said the crafty serpent, "and why is that?" "Because it would make God unhappy," Eve answered, "and we would have to leave this beautiful place." "Ridiculous," laughed the serpent. "God does not want you to eat that fruit because he knows it would make you as clever as him. You know all about being good, but God has told you nothing about what it means to be bad. Eat the fruit and you'll know all about that too." Eve thought that the fruit looked delicious. She had sometimes wondered what it tasted like, and it wasn't really fair of God to keep things from them. So she picked a piece and took a bite and gave Adam a taste as well. And right away they discovered what it meant to do something bad. Their stomachs churned with guilt, their faces turned red with shame, and instead of running to meet God when he next visited the garden, they ran away to hide. "I know what you have done," God called out sadly. "Now you will have to leave this beautiful place." "Goodbye," God said to Adam. "From now on you will have to scratch at the earth for the food to eat." "Goodbye," God said to Eve. "Your life will be hard too. And when your lives end," God said finally, "you will go back to the ground from which you came." Adam and Eve looked at each other. Then they walked sadly out of the garden. They had learned what it meant to be bad, and they had changed God's good world forever. Here are some questions to answer about the story. Have a think about them and talk to the people in your house about what the answers are to those questions.
hopefully now you've had a chance to listen to the story and think about the questions that came after the story, thinking about why the author decided to give the title of the Adam and Eve story, The Sad Day, and also thinking about maybe when we haven't listened to the adults around us and what consequences there might be because of our actions. And sometimes we're faced with choices, just like Adam and Eve were. Choices to make the right decision, and tempted where we might think that actually we shouldn't make that decision, but actually we are tempted and will sometimes choose the wrong thing to do. In the story, God reminds Adam and Eve not to eat fruit from a particular tree because it could be harmful to them. In our life, we have to make some choices, and sometimes the consequences of making those choices might be harmful to us, but also to our relationships with other people and our relationship with God. Can you think of any times where you have done something similar to Adam and Eve, where you've been tempted and you've chosen the wrong things? Have a little think about that now, and think about what the consequences of that were. Did it hurt someone else's feelings? Did it mean that actually you didn't get to do what you really wanted to do? Did it mean that you upset other people? And did it upset you when you made that choice? Have a quiet think to some quiet music now. After the quiet music, we'll go into our song, which this morning is going to be My Lighthouse, and then we'll lead in prayer. And today I've put the words of the prayer on the screen for you to join in on, and also given you some time to think of a prayer of your own. Okay, everyone, have some quiet reflection time now.
In my wrestling and in my doubts, in my failures, you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. In the silence, you won't let go. In the questions, your truth will hold. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. My God's love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are my light, my lighthouse, shining in the darkness. Safe to shore.
Father God, from time to time we do things we shouldn't. Give us humility to admit we are wrong and the courage to ask for forgiveness. Amen. You might want to say a prayer of your own now. Take some time to say that prayer.
Let's end our worship today by blowing out our candle. Jesus is the light of the world, a light no darkness can put out. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Bye.